Want a great program to demonstrate what your scouts should bring to a winter campout? Well, this is a great program for you. You're only going to need a few things. First, you're going to need some cotton socks. You're next going to need some wool socks, a bowl of ice, and a container for some water. Now let's see what we're going to do with that. All right, Scouts. One great thing to do before a winter campout is to do a preparation or a conversation on what sort of gear is appropriate and what sort of clothing is appropriate to bring on a campout. And a lot of people, we've talked a lot about bringing wool to as clothing for a winter campout, for a snow camping campout as the most appropriate thing to wear. Now, a lot of people wonder why that's the case. It's always better to give a demonstration on why you do something instead of just telling people to do something. So, a great demonstration is, I'm going to call this cotton kills or why wool. And we've got a cooler filled with cold water, we've got a bunch of wool socks, and we've got a bunch of cotton socks. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the cotton socks and we're going to throw them in the water. We're going to take all of the wool socks and we're going to throw them in the water as well. And we're going to really get them nice and wet. So, and then what you do is you hand every scout a wool sock and a cotton sock. Now you're going to want to wring them out a little bit because we don't want to be mean. And what you're going to do is you're going to put one of these socks on each hand.
Immediately putting on like on dry legs. But if you just have your feet in water with socks on, it's not that.
Oh man, that's cold.
Don't get your watch.
It's cold.
So, we've got wool socks and we've got cotton socks on. Now, and what we're going to do is then we'll talk a little bit about the appropriate clothing that you wear on a campout. And we're going to talk about layering. Now, who can tell me a little bit about layering? So, we're going to talk about the 3 layers of layering, where we've got the wicking layer close to the body, the insulating layer right next to the wicking layer on the outside, the waterproof layer. We'll talk about other things that have to do with winter camping and the appropriate gear. And then we're going to ask, now, ladies, you've got a wet wool sock and a wet cotton sock, and they both had a chance to dry for a few minutes. And what hand is warmer? The wool hand? The wool hand? The wool hand warmer? The wool hand being warmer? The wool hand? The wool hand? That's because wool dries faster than cotton. And cotton doesn't dry out nearly as easy. And that is the demonstration.